You have built the user interface and imported the extension to the Play Sounds View controller. We're on the final step to getting pitch perfect to play back the audio. Let me walk you through what we need to set up. If you think back to earlier in this lesson, we wired up all 6 sound effect buttons to call the Play Sound for Button function. What we need now is a way to distinguish between each of these buttons, and then call the appropriate function in our extension to play that sound effect. There are several ways to distinguish one UI button from another, but the easiest is using the tag property of the button. This is just an integer value we can assign the UI button, and then later query in the Play Sound for Button function. With the button selected and the Attributes Inspector open, you can scroll down to the View section and see the tag here on the bottom right. The default tag value is 0, therefore all of our UI buttons have 0 as their tag value. Time to change that. The snail button is the first button, so it can have a tag of 0, but we should change it for the other 5 buttons. Open the main.storyboard and select the Play Sounds View controller scene as I've done here. Select the rabbit button. Scroll down to the tag and set it to 1. Now select the chipmunk button and in the Attributes Inspector set the tag to 2. For the Darth Vader button, set the tag to 3. For the echo button, set the tag to 4. Finally, for the reverb button, set the tag to 5. Now we have different tag values for each playback button, from 0 to 5. The next step is to change the Play Sound for Button function so that it does a different audio playback depending on what button was pressed. Let's go to that function in the Play Sounds View controller.swift file. To make more space, we can use Command Option 0 to close the right side. Remember the enumeration you added earlier here for values from 0 to 5? We can use them in the switch statement to call the Play Sound function differently for each of the buttons. Add the code for the switch statement so that it appears as you can see here. If the slow or fast button is pressed, we'll play the sound at a different rate. If the chipmunk or Darth Vader voices are selected, we'll alter the pitch. If echo or reverb sound effects are selected, we'll pass those settings onward to the Play Sound function. While playing audio is great, it would be nice if we could stop playback when we want to. We do have a stop button, and it's already wired up to call the stop button press function in our Play Sounds View controller. All we need to do is to add a call to the stop audio function that is in the class extension, and it will do the work of calling out to AV Audio Engine to stop the playback. If you followed along to this point, we should be able to test the Pitch Perfect app. You should be able to record yourself and hear the playback with a variety of sound effects. Let's try it. Swift is great.
Swift is great.
In a very short amount of time, you got Pitch Perfect built from the ground up, a fun iOS app that can record and play back audio with sound effects. If you're curious about the calls to AV Audio Engine, I'm going to go over that next. For now, pat yourself on the back, you are already an iOS developer.